I really think the story is about how men recognize what other men are doing underneath the surface. And so she doesn't peep things the way Phil peeps it. And at the same time, it becomes about how young people don't understand the energy of people and how that might change their future in the way an adult may understand. So I just think there are a lot of generational and sort of gender things that are happening all at once there.
Bel-Air is one of the most amazing shows on television. Not only are all of you guys brilliant as actors, but it has one of the hottest soundtracks out of any show on television. But honestly, it's such a great show. Cassandra, first question is for you. At the start of the season, Jeffrey and Will are both gone. Viv has found her art fellowship. She has her art fellowship now, and she's really concentrating on her art. How does that affect her relationship with Phil? And how has Will and the rest of the Banks family changed from season 1 to season 2?
Big questions here, my friend. Thank you for coming in with the energies. Okay. I mean, the family dynamic shifts dramatically, not having Will or Jeffrey in the house. I mean, Jeffrey not being there will make it very difficult for me to be an artist. So for me, the first goal is get Jeffrey back in this house, get Will back in this house. When people know you as being their support system, things can get very uncomfortable when they are too busy in their own world. And you will see Vivian get very myopic into her world. She's going to get very diligent about trying to build this thing. And really, no one is pouring into her. She's always tending to everyone else's garden. And now her garden is starting to get quite weathered from the storm of it all. But actually, Hillary becomes a blessing in her life. And there's some other blessings that happen. But also, she has to push some other people to the side and have to raise her husband to understand who he needs to be too. So she's got a lot of things to take care of.
Coco, Hillary's new position at the Influencer House comes with some challenges, especially with her friend Ivy. How does she handle more of the managerial role in the influencer space and navigate her partnership with other influencers like Ivy?
I think she's just trying to balance and figure everything out. She's still a young woman who has a lot of goals, but maybe doesn't know exactly the specifics of how to attain all of those things. And that power struggle between her and Ivy, it's multi-layered because they also are very similar. And they could really be great friends if they didn't have so much competition blinding them at times. And then other times they get along great. So I think she's just trying to figure out the balance like any young woman really is.
Now, Akira, there's a real passing of the torch moment this season, especially with the fist bump between your Ashley and Tatiana Ali, who's on this show and such an impactful character playing Miss Hughes. Can you talk about the impact that Miss Hughes has on Ashley and kind of like how she sets Ashley, or changes Ashley's perspective on the world a little bit?
I think that Miss Hughes really puts a big impact on Ashley. Starting off from when she gives her a book to read, it just makes Ashley more open to taking advice and wanting to learn, because that's really what Miss Hughes helps her do is learn, obviously, because she's a teacher. But but giving her that advice, sorry, lost my train of thought. But Miss Hughes gives Ashley a very valuable lesson that she uses basically throughout the whole season.
Cassandra, Will finds his new focus on basketball this season, and he finds a new mentor in Doc Hightower, which makes Uncle Phil really nervous. How does Viv kind of view Doc Hightower, and how does that differ from how Phil views him?
I feel like I'm actually married to Phil right now and be like, first of all, we're always in alignment about how we feel about people. But I'm just happy that Will has something that is positive that he's focused on, especially once certain things are taken away from him. That becomes basically the only place he can turn to sort of finish off this world of basketball. So I think it's fine. But, I really think the story is about how men recognize what other men are doing underneath the surface. And so she doesn't peep things the way Phil peeps it. And at the same time, it becomes about how young people don't understand the energy of people and how that might change their future in the way an adult may understand. So I just think there are a lot of generational and sort of gender things that are happening all at once there. Makes it kind of messy.
Coco, I love this season, the relationship with Hillary and Jazz. It is phenomenal. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship? Because it seems that Hillary wants to keep their relationship private, even though she's a public figure, whereas Jazz wants to really be public with his relationship. So can you talk about their evolution of the relationship this season?
Yeah, I think Hillary really evolves this season because I think she is very known for being this certain boss who has this driven way about her. But when it comes to her relationship, I think there's a lot of intimidation about being vulnerable, possibly being hurt, being judged by the internet. You know, she's this social media influencer. And so that is her world. That is her job. And that fear of taking that public commitment, you know, somewhere where public opinions can be seen and read, and retweeted. So I think there's a lot that Hillary evolves through with these very common storylines. I feel like that's a very normal in this day and age to feel like scared to take your relationship public, to be scared of possibly being hurt and not being sure of your personal life, but being very sure of your career.
You guys are amazing in this show. I think Bel-Air is incredible. It's incredibly layered and you guys are fantastic performers. And it's such a well-written show. Thank you guys for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. You have so great energy. Okay. Massive success to you. I love your energy.
Thank you. So I love you guys. You guys are amazing. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Bye.